So tell me about your addiction.
It was a lot of alcohol, a lot of cocaine. I would say that addiction was just making really bad decisions that were self-destructive and doing them over and over again, which is really what Addicaid is addressing.
There's a lot of myths told about addicts, like they're morally flawed or that they can't lead stable lives. But those are exactly that, myths. The truth is, addiction is widespread. An estimated 22.7 million Americans need treatment for drug and alcohol-related issues. Many of those who suffer from addictions don't seek help, and relapse, it's incredibly common. Addicaid founder Sam Frons believes addiction recovery is ripe for innovation.
Helping people realize that this is a spectrum disorder and not black and white is a really powerful tactic to combat the general stigma. And so that's what Addicaid really serves as, an introduction to addiction and a continuum of care.
How does Addicaid help break through that stigma?
By having an entry point that's just from your smartphone, anonymous, and with the option of privacy, we help people overcome the issue of stigma associated with, again, going to a meeting, announcing your issues publicly.
Most treatment centers continue to use an approach that's more than 80 years old. You may have heard of it. It's called the 12-step program. How successful it is a bit hazy. Alcoholics Anonymous, which popularized the 12-step program, doesn't report success metrics.
It's kind of crazy to treat the symptom and break people down and what their different vice is, and then give them all the same treatment. That makes no sense.
And when you talk about addicts, you cover the gamut of addiction.
Anything from drugs and alcohol to different behavioral disorders like gambling, porn, shopping, things of that nature.
Using technology means that it'll also be easier to track progress.
Exactly, and so we promote relapse management. So by intervening immediately if somebody's at, for example, a trigger location that they record on Addicaid, we're able to track where someone is and then intervene appropriately.
What does an intervention mean in that sense?
We would serve you up to our member hotline and remind you of different elements of your recovery. You record beforehand different situations on why this place is a trigger and what to do beforehand. So what we're doing is reinforcing what people have already recorded on Addicaid and grounding them in truth rather than letting them fall victim to their impulses and emotions. AA had no real-time way to respond to this, and we're doing that by intervening immediately when someone needs help. And we have a life cycle for everybody that once they feel really stable in their recovery, they give back to the community and can become a moderator. So it also incentivizes them to stay. And this is something that we took as a point of inspiration from the 12-step model, which is giving back to the community and giving your support.
I want to be clear that this is not something you're saying is a replacement for treatment.
It's not a replacement. It enhances it. So for example, therapists who use it say it's awesome because they don't waste time in the session going over things that happen and can dive right into the problems. We know now that addiction is a spectrum disorder. It's not a you have it or you don't disease, and it needs to be addressed in a far more nuanced way.